people dance out there, I see you with the footwork.
Boston with the basketball. Here comes the screen. Takes stock of the floor. Kyrie. Ingram right there for the rebound. Ball. The pass set it all up.
I like that aggression early. You never just settle for jumpers. You attack, you attack, you attack. Then when they back off, you'll have room to shoot that, Jay.
No good, and no foul.
Yo, big kudos to the defender. It seems like the mere presence of him in the paint was enough to throw off the concentration of the guy trying to drop the layup in.
Nothing going here on that drive. To Horford. Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down.
Leadership's greatest values occur in between the lines and not necessarily in the box score. And that's the type of leader that Al Horford is. He's the first all-star free agent to choose Boston in decades. And let me tell you this. The legacy of greatness runs deep in the family. His father, Tito Horford, was the first Dominican basketball player to ever play in the league, which goes to show you why Al has such a great feel for the game.
And now he's going to shoot a few more as he's fouled going up for it.
It's still early, so no real impact on that call. But you know that they're going to call this one tight, so you might want to keep your hands out of his pocket.
And he connects on the first free throw. And he makes them both. And he finishes at the rim.
There you go. I like seeing his scoring coming from unlikely sources.
Ball's controlled by Boston. Kyrie lets it go. Off the mark. JaVale McGee to Kyle Kuzma. How you practice leads to that. Nice pump fake.
Hey, look. Pretty dudes can mix it up once in a while, too, I guess.
Brown with it up top. Down 12. Irving to Marcus Morris. Great dish to set it up. And the finish. Slam dunk. Jay, perhaps that's a start.
Those kind of plays get me fired up. That's a momentum play. They looked lifeless here in the first quarter, but a dunk like that can get your team going in the right direction.
Knocked loose. Kyrie across the timeline. His guys trail by 13. Nothing going here on that drive. And the slam. They have set the...
Love when I see offenses come out in beast mode. You attack that paint, you get to the rim, inevitably the floor will open up for you to knock down some threes.
New blood coming in for both sides. He cruises in for two. Too easy.
Bulldog. Look, it ain't always going to be pretty, but this is a results-oriented business, and this dude will always give you a good ROI.
Couldn't keep it in. Out of bounds off Jaylen Brown. Has a look. Hard shot, no good.
The contest was good, but you being a nuisance was great. Continue to be that gnat that no matter how many times you swing at it, it never goes away.
Horford, much-needed bucket right there with the three. This game, long way to go. They're back within 10.
This isn't going to be a rollover game. That's the kind of facial expressions you need from somebody who's ready to fight.
To Stevenson. Caldwell Pope. Not getting the bounce. To Horford. And he's fouled. Earns a trip to the foul line, Jay.
There's a very fine line between maximum effort and carelessness. I'm willing to live with a few mistakes and maximum effort than having to constantly remind my players to close out.
First one, count it. Able to convert on both free throws. To Josh Hart. Going to launch. Beyond the arc. Unbothered. Josh Hart hits the three.
Ed, let me tell you how this one goes. It ain't no fun if the homies can't have some. Everyone's getting a piece of the rock tonight.
Here comes the screen. Finishing inside the paint on that one. Rondo into the front court. The lead stands at 9. To Caldwell Pope. Kentavious Caldwell Pope. Missed his first. That one goes.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
Los Angeles, they have it. Good luck telling Lance Stephenson there's a bad shot. It's the tough one.
And that's what this game is. As the game plays, you have to adjust on the fly. That delivers the element of surprise.
The drive, right to the basket. Full throttle, right to the
ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
Rozier with it, trailing by 10. Ah, missed it. How'd that not go down? To Stevenson. Cruises inside for 2.
Man, that may not have been a gimme, but that layup at the rim definitely chips away at the pride of the defense.
Across the timeline, it's Rozier. They can go 2 for 1 if they hurry. Knocked loose. Lakers come up with it. Fires the 3. He made his first effort, but not that time. Perfect feed to set up the basket.
Now, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but you have to take it one possession at a time. You have to continue to chip away. It hasn't been the best first quarter, but if you get a couple more of those to drop, you'll find yourself right back in this ballgame.
That ends the first quarter. So far, it's been all Lakers. Ed Cohen, Jay Williams with you as we get things started here in the second quarter. Celtics have it. To Hayward. Here comes the screen. Hayward. LeBron into the front court. Lead stands at 10. Stuffs it down with authority.
This offseason, I heard so many voices, even that of the great Shaquille O'Neal, talking about how LBJ needed to submit his own legacy. Well, for LeBron, it's not about chasing external accolades. It's about hunting your own legacy, and that's to be the greatest of all time.
Gordon Hayward, that's how it's done. He's 2 for 2 now.
Might have had an extra dribble or 2 there, but he got the shot he wanted.
To James. To Caldwell Pope. Stevenson. Beyond the arc for 3. That's what the King does. James, the quick catch and shoot there for 3.
They're shooting the ball well, but let me tell you why. They're already ready to shoot before they even catch the ball. Look at their hands. Their hands are ready, providing a target. So when they catch that ball, they go right into their shot. We call that being shot ready.
James. Nice finish at the rim.
Well, the shooting has been spectacular, but one of the things that I've seen as the difference maker in this ball game is how they are catching the basketball. They're not establishing a pivot foot, which leaves the defense wondering which way you can drive. But when that shot is working like that, you got it any way you want it.
To Hayward. Oh, he had him there for a second. Hayward. Yes. Give the advantage to the shooter.
Even though the coach initially may not like that shot, Now he's clapping because that ball went in.
James goes to the left side. Lets it fly from long range. Buries it on the catch and shoot.
Ugh, did you see the way the ball came off his hands? Not the best form in the world, but it is where it is. Count it. Maybe just don't count on it all the time.
No good. Defense catching a break there. Got it.
So many times you can tell if a player is going to finish before he even gets to the rim. Did you see that look on his face? That was a look of a three-point play. You always going in thinking you can get more at the rim.
Knocked loose. Celtics have it. Lakers have it.
Keep your foot on the gas, but don't get too reckless.
And his foot was on the line. It's going the other way. Changes coming from both sides right now. Rozier into the front court. His guys down big. Goaltending's called. Count the bucket.
Good finish. Good finish. Goaltending. 2 points awarded.
LeBron into the front court. He'll run the offense. For three. Tough shot. He hits.
Well, they're shooting the ball at an amazing clip. And when they shoot the ball this well, they're essentially unguardable. And, Ed, let me tell you what that does for the team. It eventually opens up space to put the ball down on the ground and get to the rim. That's how critical the three-point shot is.
Rozier rocking the rim.
It's easy to become mesmerized when you watch a player who can create off the dribble. We call that dancing. When you allow a player to dance with that much space, that's Prob City.
Boston with the basketball. JaVale McGee swats it.
Just incredible timing on that swat.
Can't get the bounce. Down for McGee to the outside. Driving right to the basket. He wants it at the rim and scores.
Did you see the way that dribble freed him up? It created so much space. I did, but the defender didn't.
Oh, good defense by the Lakers. They come away with the steal.
Come on, let's dig in. Let's really build this lead.
Kuzma. Count the basket. A lot of contact. No foul.
Some players are just built to absorb the contact. He pretty much dusted that defender off like that was a bug at the park.
And he's fouled. Very close, Jay. The results, he's going to the line.
Great job, Ed, by the shooter to create contact after the jump. That's how you get to the free throw line.
Jaylen Brown. He's got 2 shots coming. A career 65% free throw shooter. Nope. First one does not go. Missed the second one as well. Across the timeline comes James. His guys hold a commanding lead. McGee powers it through.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
To James. JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee able to recover with the block. Offensive board. Nice follow-up on the dunk there. He took it out on the rim that time.
Oh, there's no better feeling than after throwing that one down, hanging on the rim a little bit, looking at your opponent beneath you, making him recognize that's where you'll be the entire ball game.
Kyrie Irving controlling the offense. Knocked loose. LeBron James with the block.
Don't stare him down like that afterwards.
Down for McGee. To James. Oh, had him going there for a second. Stuffs it down with authority. He was ready right at the tip.
What a first half he's having. He came out of the gate, attacked, found ways to get to the rim. Now look how easy the game is coming to him.
Whoa, Jaylen Brown above the rim.
Oh, man, did you see that swiftness? He dunked that thing like a tennis ball.
It looked like that in his hand. And stuffs it home. This is becoming a runaway.
They're getting to the rim at will, probably because we're watching Matador defense. You probably want to get in the way of your defender if they keep trying to attack the rim.
Hayward to Horford. JaVale McGee sends it away. That's his third block this evening.
You know why? I don't see anybody on the defensive end standing up out of position. I see everybody squatted down, really active with their hands. That's the mentality that will lead you to where you want to go.
Add 2 points to the board.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
And he throws it down. Al Horford showing off all the moves. Jay, you know the deal. Keep the touches coming inside.
As long as that defense continues to give you high percentage shots, you better take that every time.
Kyrie Irving.
Oh, and he can't keep it in off the block.
Man, that was impressive.
Blocking so many shots only gives your perimeter that much more confidence to really apply more pressure.
Kuzma. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. No issues for Kuzma. Hands in his face. He drills it.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
Fires the three. It's rebounded by the Celtics. To Marcus Morris. Here's a chance from long range. Where's the chatter? No one was even close to him.
It's all about creating space with the dribble. Once you have that gap, you can beat somebody in a variety of ways. He chose the dagger with the three.
Luke Walton switching things up. He's got some new players out there. Able to convert inside.
You feel that? I see the confidence building.
Brown into the front court. His guys can hold for the final shot. Knocked loose. Lakers come up with it. Late heave to beat the buzzer. A very one-sided first half of basketball as we are at halftime. Let's get you to Orlando where we say hello to Jalen Rose in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Jalen.
The Lakers didn't hold back in that opening half. It was their playmaking, the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impresses me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Los Angeles Lakers. Fellas, back to you.
First half, very one-sided. What will the second half bring? We'll find out as we're underway. Irving brings the ball up court. Has a chance. Oh, he was wide open. It's not going to be pretty when they watch the video. Someone's getting chewed out.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
James to Kyle Kuzma from long range. Good contest. Made it tough for Kuzma. On the follow. Way to stay with it.
Contact on a drive can be a beautiful thing. Making those tough shots can really help you build a mental advantage over your defender.
Kyrie Irving lines it up for two. Wide open look won't go. To ball. 4-3. Celtics able to clear the board. Knocked loose. Lakers have it.
Maybe pace it right here. They got a big lead at home.
Rises for the slam.
I mean, defense, is it that easy? Can I see some reaction after somebody gets an easy dunk? Some yelling, some kind of emotion? I need you to get involved back in this ball game.
Short jumper off the mark.
Blocked
away.
That one's in the 15th row.
Huge denial.
The most important thing a shooter can do is continue to shoot. The defense is always going to give great effort, but it's more of your psyche that goes into the next shot that will limit you on whether you make the shot or not.
Irving. They need something to go down. It's no good. LeBron with it up top. His guys holding the big lead. Kyle Kuzma, not that time. He missed it.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
Here comes the screen to Marcus Smart. Layup's good. Those are the types of shots you always strive for.
And sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
LBJ stuffs it down with authority.
You know, Ed, I'm down with guys having 35, 40, maybe 50 points in the game. But the one thing you look for in a defensive end, when there's a huddle after a guy has dropped multiple buckets on you in a row and everybody's quiet, nobody stands up and says, yo, I got him, I'm going to stop him, you're in a worrisome place for your team.
Ball. Gets it in the left corner. Going to launch beyond the arc. Had made his first three, but that shot off the mark.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
Runner's good there.
Attack mode isn't a switch that you can just turn on and off. He needs to do more of that. We need to see him penetrate, get into that lane, and create.
Into the front court, it's Irving. Down a bundle. Oh, they call the foul.
A simple touch foul.
Looks like some substitutions are coming on in.
Number 9, Rajon Rondo.
Kyrie. Deep two there, won't go.
I don't know why he rushed that shot. He was wide open. Take your time.
Count the bucket for two.
Sometimes when the players find that flow, nobody else needs to touch the ball. He's in a zone by himself.
Ball's controlled by Boston. Kyrie Irving for two. And 2 more points. The defense had him, but the good shooters find a way.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
James into the front court. Looking to make something happen. Stuffs it down with authority.
So much about passing is about the pace of the pass. Sometimes you need to dart the pass through the gap. Other times you need to have a feathery touch where you can loft the ball up for your player to dunk the ball. That pace is everything in this game.
Right down Broadway, 4-2.
Here's lesson number 1. When you allow a player like that the freedom of space to dance with the ball, there's no telling what kind of break dance move they might hit you with.
Tough shot and nearly a chance at a 3-point play. No foul.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
He has certainly been on target from from three-point range.
Let me tell you why. He's been receiving his passes on time and on target. Give the passer some credit in this scenario as well.
Both coaches dipping into their reserves. Changes coming onto the floor.
Subbing in for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Kyrie. And he knocks it down. Jay, nice look right there.
Ooh, cool, calm, and collective. The 3 C's. His handles are effortless.
Stuffs it down with authority.
Ed, I have so much admiration for guys that continue to hunt their shot. They're playing the second half like it was the first 5 minutes of the ball game. Those natural-born leaders are guys that will consistently lead your team to the promised land.
Nothing going here on that drive. Boston with 4 to shoot. A drive to the basket, but the shot rattles around and out.
That's superb defense. That's a defense getting there from the weak side early and making the player short on the shot.
Here's Irving into the front court. His guys down big, and that's going to get out of bounds. Off a Laker. It'll stay Celtic basketball. Brad Stevens will change up his lineup. Kyrie lets it go. Not that time.
That's how you do it. You keep riding him to the basket, and if the refs aren't calling it, keep being physical. Keep knocking him off balance.
Down to Chandler. Off the assist.
And Ed, not every pass needs to be a home run pass or thread the needle. Sometimes an easy kick ahead or an easy shuffle pass can make the game simple. The more simplistic the game is, the more efficient you'll be as a unit.
LeBron into the front court. He'll run the offense. And Boston has the rebound.
2 minutes left in the
To Irving. Fires the 3. That's off the side of the rim. No good.
And there's always so much talk about defense. How about offensively? If you continue to attack that shooter, now you're making him work on the defense. That makes him take his legs away on the offensive end.
Celtics have it.
Oh, out there looking like the Kimbe Mutombo.
Took it right to him, and the defender was ready. Both teams tweaking their lineups. Here come some changes.
Number 20, Gordon Hayward. Subbing in for the Lakers. Number 9.
To Jaylen Brown. Short jumper won't fall. Count the basket, and it could have been more. No whistle.
Let me tell you something that nobody will ever talk about. Did you see him slow down right before he was about to go up? That slow change of speed, that slight change was just enough to throw the defender off.
Time to shuffle things up.
Tyson Chandler.
Oh, they call him for the foul.
Those cat-like hands almost got a steal.
That's his first personal foul. Team foul number 2. Los Angeles Lakers are in the penalty.
A drive down the lane, but the shot stays out. Rondo with the basketball. His guys hold a commanding lead. Can't force those. Stevenson misses. Great pass to set it up. And scores. Strong take.
And you best believe that every one of those that goes in fills the confidence meter.
Deep left corner. Jumper's good.
If you're coaching against this player, you have to throw some fake traps, some fake schemes. How are you making this player think instead of just naturally reacting?
Knocked loose. Lakers come up with it. Beyond the arc for three. Buries it.
Ed, when somebody's destroying you with the fundamentals of the game, we call that a clinic.
Rozier with it. His guys can get a 2-for-1 if they time this out. Split the D there, but he can't get it to drop. Lets it fly from long range. Boston secures the rebound. To Hayward. Trying to cash in. Gordon Hayward, that's how it's done. He's now shooting 5 for 7.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here because that was not an easy look.
Hayward. And that's rebounded by the Lakers. Deep three at the buzzer. 3 quarters down with the Lakers in command. It's Lakers ball as we start the 4th quarter, and they have done no wrong to this point. They have this game well in control.
They took control early, and they never let up. The scary thing about this team, if they keep their foot on the gas and then throttle it down, they can win this game by 50.
Has a look. Can't connect. Why even try that time?
I'm going to start calling him the windshield wiper, just erasing all the mistakes.
And he's fouled. Good play by the shooter.
You know what? That's an even better play by the defender. I like the foul there. Send a message. Nothing easy.
He's going to have to earn it now. Misses the first. Second one goes. It's a 1 of 2 trip.
And number 0, Kyle Kuzma.
James. For 3, it's been a good night from the... Beyond the arc, he's 5 of 6 from deep.
It's called room and rhythm, Ed. If you don't crowd him defensively, you allow him to have room, he will find that rhythm from behind the arc.
Little R&R has never hurt anybody, Jay. To Horford. Slam dunk.
Oh, man, did you see that swiftness? He dunked that thing like a tennis ball.
It looked like that in his hand. To Josh Hart. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Unbothered. Josh Hart hits the 3.
It's easy to get lost in the chaos of the game down the stretch, but great awareness by the shooter to get those toes right behind the three-point line.
Screen coming. To Jaylen Brown. And scores, plus the foul. Al Horford taking it to the basket. And now with a chance at a 3-point play.
And I know there's so much excitement about the play, but everybody looks at the player. More people need to pay attention to the guy at the end of the bench, the strength and conditioning coach, because this kid's been putting in the time and effort every day in the weight room.
To James. Count the basket at the rim.
And there's nothing more mentally intimidating for your opponent than when your own teammates are unselfish and make sure that you get the ball because they want you to drop 70 on them, maybe like Devin Booker did last year.
And a whistle.
Timing was just a tad bit off.
That's his first personal foul. Team foul number 3.
To Rozier. Right down Broadway for the 2. Defender has to pick him up.
When Kyrie Irving went out, we saw Terry Rozier become that guy for the Celtics, hence even getting the name Scary Terry. No doubt about it, he may be a starter eventually, and that may be a conundrum for the Celtics.
To Jaylen Brown. Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down. He climbed the ladder on that one.
Well, the question is, how big is the ladder? He's still climbing.
Kyle Kuzma. Man, that was a tough shot.
Every hero needs a good sidekick. Nice find to set up the three.
Knocked loose. The drive, right to the basket. JaVale McGee sends it away. Incredible. 6 tonight.
Here's one of the biggest secrets as we move into this new age of basketball, especially in the draft room. You have to draft players with size and length. That's the biggest deterrent for any team offensively.
To Rozier. Deep right corner. Cashes in for 2.
That's a strong finish. Regardless of contact, finishing strong is key.
To James. Goes to the left side. Kuzma. Short jumper off the mark. Knocked loose. Lakers have it. James. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
You know, it reminds me out of a story a legendary coach once told me. He said, if you ever get in a fight, you're not going to hit somebody with an open hand, correct? You'll probably break a finger. But if you hit somebody with a fist, what is that? That's 5 fingers working collectively together as one. That's how you deliver a knockout punch, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
Kyrie Irving lines it up for 2, just not going down. Yes, and the foul, and a chance at 3 coming up.
The offense has very little to lose on those type of plays if they know they can, number 1, create contact, and number 2, still get the ball up. You need to assert yourself fully on the defensive end by initiating the contact and not allowing the offensive player to get that ball above his waist.
James to Josh Hart. Fires the 3, shakes free, and hits.
Everything looks great when you shoot the ball like this. And yes, Ed, this team does have some issues, but they are all masked and camouflaged with this shooting display we're watching.
To Marcus Morris. Here's a chance from long range. Buries it on the catch and shoot.
But it was how he created the shot. As a defender, there's a tendency to stand up when you stare at the ball. Offensive player recognized that, continuously moved without the ball. Bang, that's how he set it up.
The assist from number 0, Kyle Kuzma.
Curling inside. Got a piece of it.
Jumping out the gym right now, Ed.
Great anticipation. James. Unbothered by the defense. As he drills it.
Ooh, shows like this separate the good players from the great ones. The good players, they have good first halves, and then they fade to black in the second. The great players, they just sustain that kind of dynamic energy throughout the entire ball game.
Knocks down the first. Good free throw shooting. Knocks down a pair. Lakers ball.
I got ball.
Hart. To James. Foot was on the line. It's a turnover. Some lineup changes now for both clubs.
For Boston, number 12, Terry Rozier. Stepping in for the Los Angeles.
Kyrie.
Number 9.
Not that time.
Your contest was great because of your proximity to the player. You forced his follow-through to be cut short, which made him short-arm the shot.
Count it. No and one. There was some contact there.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. To the rim. Lays it up and in.
Look, there was barely any contact on that last play. I agree with the ref's no call. Let him play.
From the painted area, won't go down.
One of the best kept secrets in the game. Utilizing a head fake. Get the defender in the air. Crack into him. Don't give the refs any excuse not to call foul. I put that one on you. You went up a little bit lazy.
And gets both to drop at the line. Into the front court comes Rondo. His guys holding the big lead. From long range, that's off the side of the rim, short.
2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
Celtics have it. Gets to the basket and scores.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
Gets it in the left corner. 4-3.
That reach was just about a second off. He got his hand in there a little bit quicker. That would have been a steal.
Just enough imbalance. Mo Wagner at the line. First try at the line, no good. Missed the middle one. One more coming. Missed the third one. 0 for 3 on this trip. Nice follow-up on the dunk there. Jay, that's been the story this evening.
I mean, another one? Another dunk? Another easy possession? I mean, how demoralizing can this be for the team? Why am I the only one yelling? I don't see anybody on the bench yelling. I don't see anybody on the court even angry right now.
Shifting gears. Here comes some substitutions. Irving. Won't go down. On the follow. Way to stay with it.
He's been doing this for years, the physicality in which he plays. No one wants to see that. You're going to leave the game with black and blue marks all over your body.
Going to launch. Beyond the arc. Misfires. It's no good. Irving into the front court. Down a bundle. Nice pass to set things up. Marcus Morris, strong finish.
And no emotion, just that ice-cold stare. That's a sign of somebody who's here to compete.
Oh, he had him there for a second. Al Horford snatching it out of the air. Make that 7.
This game is all about playing mind tricks on people. The offense is more worried about getting their shot blocked than they are about actually making the shot.
Nice pass to set things up.
You know, Ed, the effort is what concerns me the most. Effort is replenishable. If you're tired, raise your hand, check yourself out. Get somebody who actually wants to get back in transition and play some defense. That will help your team win the game, not you just staying in the game to be better on offense.
And stuffs it down. He's been a one-man show, but Jay, they're still down in this one.
He's their lone bright star, their only star tonight. Some other of the supporting cast members really need to step up.
The ball in the hands of Kyrie Irving. Has a chance. Deep 2 there. Won't go. To the rim. A pass taken away by the Celtics.
Tonight, it may not cost you, but in a playoff game, it will.
Lakers come up with it. And the basket good at the rim.
You know, teams usually shoot higher percentages early in the shot clock. Plus, you take away the legs of the defense. You have to dictate the pace.
Runner's good there. Corner 3 at the buzzer. The Lakers get the victory as they cruise to win a game that was never really in doubt. For Jay Williams and all our crew, I'm Ed Cohen saying so long for now. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Hey everyone, it's Jalen Rose, and it's time for the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Lakers dominated this game from beginning to end. They did it with blocks, and they did it with steals. More to the point, they did it with excellent defense. They committed to the grind, and got rewarded as a result. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Los Angeles Lakers. The Celtics lost this game long before the final buzzer. And it's games like this where veteran players can be so important. They've been through these types of blowouts, and they know what it takes to keep a locker room united.
Game trap.
Defense.
Player of the game.
LeBron James seemed to think he could only score points with dunks in this game. Again and again. He kept throwing them down, and it was just astonishing.
Who was cold?
Every player that makes it to the NBA is a great athlete, but even the best players have their off nights. Today was just one of those days for this guy. We handpicked them for you. Here are the top plays.
Number 2. Number 1.
On behalf of ESPN on EA Sports, I'm Jalen Rose. We look forward to seeing you again next time.
Wait, baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just 50,000 in Japan. I ain't doing no plan. These red bottoms, I know Vans. And she telling all her friends, I might put them on the gram. Baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just 50,000 in Japan. I ain't doing no plan. These red bottoms, I know Vans. And she telling all her friends, I might put them on the gram. Wait, baby girl, what you doing? What's your name? I ain't play no games. See these diamonds in my chain. Yeah, I took it to the and she for the fame. So I in my range. Ooh, get that money to the top, never stop. But I'm the man. Cuban diamonds dance. Had the friend, I might put it on the gram. Baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just 50,000 in Japan. I ain't doing no plan. These red bottoms, I know Vans. And she telling all her friends, I might put them on the gram. Baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just 50,000 in Japan. I ain't doing no plan. These red bottoms, I know Vans. And she telling all her friends, I might put them on the gram. Wait, baby, wait. Hop up in this race. No, this not a date. This a cruise, but don't debate. Wait, it's getting late. Think it's past 8. Took to my place, baby. Me like some. Wait, call Jake. Think I need a. The face. I need to take a break. Wait, but don't be cool. Money stupid blue. Boyfriend is a fool. I'm trying to make you comfortable. Baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just 50,000 in Japan. I ain't do no plan, these red bottoms on no Vans. And she telling all her friends, I might put them on the gram. Baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just 50,000 in Japan. I ain't do no plan, these red bottoms on no Vans. And she telling all her friends, I might put them on the gram.
Maxo, bust down, Maxo, bust down, seal up, break it down, weigh it up, bust it down, open up, seal up. Then up, this a buzz down, got it in the old name, the buzz. We don't even here, we just buzz down. Got my on the roof, don't make them buzz down. It's a buzz down, run through the grass like a touchdown. Play, but you know buzz down. Try to take my chain, I'ma bust down, seal up, bust down, bust down, bust down, 30, 50, 100, I'm down. Stay 10 toes, I'm down. 10 toes. Jenny Craig with them. Diamond dance like Chris Brown. Look at my water, don't drown. Neck whip like baptized. Church. MJ with the 4-5. No buns, what? Like a mummy. Fake to a dummy. Got a lot of young dummies. Roll rap with the tummy. By the apartment. I moved in abundance. Buzz on the I split the like circumference. Then up, this a buzz down. Got it in the old name, the buzz. We don't even here, we just buzz down. Got my on the roof, don't make them buzz down. By the it's a buzz down. Run through the grass like a touchdown. Play with no buzz down. Try to take my chain, I'ma buzz down. Buzz down, buzz down, buzz down, buzz down. 30, 50, 100. I'm down. Pile. Yeah, it's my decorator. Joysticks like PlayStation. Like station. Can't keep my weight. My impatient. Whoa. Remix. In the base. In the den. In the kitchen. Post 3 times 10. Hurricane chopper, a baby. Got weed like Sinead. Throwing them like Luda. I'm older like a. I pass it like a.
It is NBA action on EA Sports. I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jay Williams. Should be a terrific game here tonight. The Grizzlies secured the opening tip, and we're underway on Beale Street in Memphis. Clint Capella sends it away. That's out. Last touch by Mike Conley. It's Rockets ball. Harden. Ooh, he'll take that.
And in today's game, you have to make shots like that. Nice work draining it from deep.
Across the timeline, it's Conley. Down 3. To Valanciunas. Knocked loose. Rockets have it.
I'm hearing some boos from the crowd. They know just like I know, you're not getting back on D.
Harden shoots. James Harden. 2 for 2. That's what you want.
There's a natural tendency when you guard a right dominant hand player to send him left. But for a guy who's a good mid-range shooter, that's wrong. His pace dribble is his left hand. Force him to go right and know that the chances are higher of him trying to drive and attack the rim. That's knowing the scouting report.
Harden with the basketball. A minute gone by here in the opening quarter. 4-3. Tucker, dead on three-point shooter. Tough to guard.
Just let me break down to all the young players at home how special of a pass this was. That was a perfect delivery, and it hit the player right in the chest.
To Paul. Jackson comes down with the rebound. Conley into the front court. 8-2 our score. To Jaren Jackson. Conley. Driving right to the basket. Eric Gordon. Huge block. That'll be out of bounds. Last touch by Paul. Anderson. Conley. That's off the side of the rim. Short. To Capella. Harden. Jay, another one goes down. They're right where they want to be.
Exactly. Next play, you have to turn around defensively and get in the stance and actually keep that same kind of tempo.
To Kyle Anderson. Oh, nice find for the basket.
Contact on a drive can be a beautiful thing. Making those tough shots can really help you build a mental advantage over your defender.
Down low, Capella. Give him 2 points. High percentage.
He's been doing this for years. The physicality in which he plays, no one wants to see that. You're going to leave the game with black and blue marks all over your body.
Runner's good there.
I don't know if the scouting report has made its way out here yet, but if anything, it says you need to not let him get that close to the rim.
Harden to P.J. Tucker. Goes to the left side. Ooh, Chris Paul. Missed his first. That one goes.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
Knocked loose. That's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by Gordon. Conley defended by Tucker.
Early, you never just settle for jumpers. You attack, you attack, you attack. Then when they back off, you'll have room to shoot that, Jay.
Grizzlies own the basketball. Conley. Now a steal as the Rockets have it. To Paul. Surveys the floor. Harden. Beyond the arc for 3. Buries it on the catch and shoot.
That shot was nice, but that pass, that was the real highlight. Good teams always find a way to get the best shot available.
Knocked loose. Over and back. Time to shuffle things up. Conley. Not that time. He missed it.
And there's always so much talk about defense. How about offensively? If you continue to attack that shooter, now you're making him work on the defensive end. That makes him take his legs away on the offensive end.
C.J. Miles here against P.J. Tucker. Clint Capella able to recover with the block. That'll be out of bounds. Last touch by Paul. Shifting gears. Here comes some substitutions. Right. Has a look. Gets a look. Can't hit. Harden in possession. They lead it by 14. Fires the three. Had made his first couple, but he misses there.
Shoot or shoot. Period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with that superior confidence.
James Harden looking good. 4 for 5.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
Time to adjust. Both coaches making changes on the floor. Right to Valanciunas. Knocked loose. Calls out of bounds. Last touch by Eric Gordon. Grizzlies retain the possession. Valanciunas. Gordon rejects it.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
Harden. Well, this could be a sign of things to come. He's 3 of 4 from downtown to start the game.
And a dangerous thing for the defensive team, he has fresh legs. That was great lift on that jump shot.
Memphis, they've got it. Oh, they call him for the foul.
Those cat-like hands almost got a steal.
Eric Gordon snatching it out of the air.
Just erasing mistakes left and right.
To Harden. Lets it fly from long range, and James Harden, not sure why he was so wide open there. The challenge defending a guy who can be a 1 or a 2.
We're not old men talking about this game. We don't define players by positions anymore. Is he a 1 or is he a 2? No, he's James Harden. He is a scorer and an elite passer.
P.J. Tucker with the block. Count it. No and 1. There was some contact there.
Finally something goes their way. I don't think I need to tell you, but this has been a disaster of a first quarter. They just need somebody to get hot, and then they need to come together as a team and get a few stops.
Right with it. His guys down big. Jonas Valanciunas, 2 of 4 now.
You feel that? I see the confidence building.
Harden. Perfect feed to set up the basket.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Tough-looking shot there. Still gets it to go down.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Paul, Ooh, Chris Paul. 3 for 4. Good start. He has that sixth sense that you just can't teach.
He's like a traffic cop, and he's navigating a myriad of bodies coming his way. And there's a smaller innuendo of the game that nobody talks about. When he makes a great pass, he'll tell the offensive player, shoot it, go up, dunk it. He will direct you and lead you to success.
Goes reverse to lay it in.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Nene to Gerald Green. Has a chance. Add 2 points to the board.
Whew, I don't think anyone saw this one coming. But it looks like they're trying to send a message. Look into their eyes. They're laser focused. They're playing as if this game is tied.
Oh, they called a foul, Jay.
That's just a blatant foul. Maybe he's trying to make a statement.
They're going to make some changes with some new personnel on the floor. Mike Conley. Oh, 3 for 8. He's got to do better.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here because that was not an easy look.
Now it's Harden controlling the offense. From long range, drills the 3.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
Ed Cohen, Jay Williams with you as we get things started here in the second quarter. Rivers into the front court. His guys holding the big lead. Oh, he couldn't get it to go. Conley into the front court. He'll run the offense. Oh, emphatic slam.
See, Ed, that's what I love. You don't need to conserve your energy. You attack that rim with ferocity. You always set the tone.
Count it.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
Mike Conley, now 4 for 9.
And whether you're moving north or south or east or west, you got to be able to keep pace with the ball carrier and most importantly, stay in his chest. That's on the defender. It's way too early to be fatigued.
That's what you like to see. Austin Rivers, tough shot from downtown.
Look, I'm not the one to hate. I'm the prime example of a bad decision that turned out well.
Right through the heart of the defense. The layup is good.
Attack mode isn't a switch that you can just turn on and off. He needs to do more of that. We need to see him penetrate, get into that lane and create.
It's Grizzlies ball.
I got ball. You gotta get up on that.
Conley guarded by the former Dookie. He gets it.
Probably option 3 right there in the court, but every player is a threat. No excuse for that easy bucket.
Curling inside to Fareed. Short jumper stays out. Across the timeline, it's Conley. Down a bundle. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
And I know there's so much excitement about the play, but everybody looks at the player. More people need to pay attention to the guy at the end of the bench, the strength and conditioning coach, because this kid's been putting in the time and effort every day in the weight room.
Joakim Noah at the line for a chance at a 3-point play. For his career, 69% at the line. Free throw's good to cap off the 3-point play as they draw a tiny bit closer. Too much contact, and free throws coming.
Great job, Ed, by the shooter to create contact after the jump. That's how you get to the free throw line.
James Harden has got 2 shots coming. A career 85% free throw shooter. And he connects on the first free throw. No back-to-back free throws here. He missed the second. Grizzlies at the controls right now. Conley. Won't go. And the rebound pulled in by Capella. Harden into the front court. His guys hold a commanding lead. To Fareed. The pass set it all up.
And you always feel like the words vision and unselfishness go together. They work cohesively as a unit. When you have a guy that has both, that sets the tone for how your team is going to play.
Knocks it down from mid-range.
Did you see the way that dribble freed him up? It created so much space. I did, but the defender didn't.
Ball's tied up. We'll get a jump ball. Looks like some substitutions are coming on in. Austin Rivers. Harden. He continues to light it up from downtown. 5 threes now in this first half.
Yeah, and what's shocking, Ed, is that he's gotten so many open looks. Look, stay down in the stance, stay disciplined, stop losing him, stay attached to his hip, and force him to put the ball on the ground off those curls and finish over your bigs.
And the finish at the rim.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
To Valanciunas. Jonas Valanciunas. He's now shooting 5 for 7.
And sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
It's Harden. Brings the ball up. To Rivers. Oh, had him going there for a second. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. That's off the side of the rim, no good.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
Conley into the front court. Looking to make something happen. A fundamental shot right there.
When I played, and I see guys do this all the time, when you shoot, the target isn't the basket. The target is actually before you even go into the shot. The target are your hands defensively. If your hands are down and you give me clear vision towards the bucket, that shot's definitely going up.
Conley. Driving right to the basket. It's Mike Conley with the 2.
That's it? That's all the celebration I get? I wanted to see a little bit more off that one.
And now Houston has the basketball. Almost, but no good.
You know, Ed, everybody gives so much credit to the guy who contested the shot, but there's no way he's in that position without the communication of the backbone of the defense. When you have a guy back there who can block, he sent that one to the 3rd row.
He was locked in. That was impressive. Here's a chance from long range. Yes, give the advantage to the shooter.
Well, they're shooting the ball at an amazing clip, and when they shoot the ball this well, they're essentially unguardable. And Ed, let me tell you what that does for the team. It eventually opens up space to put the ball down on the ground and get to the rim. That's how critical the three-point shot is.
Changes coming from both sides right now. Conley matched up with Paul. Knocked loose. Paul. Buries it on the catch and shoot. There's a sixth sense there that you just can't teach.
If you're a player on the same team with CP3, you should be taking that point guard out to dinner every single night. There's something to be said about a guard that makes the game way easier for you to be even more of an efficient offensive player.
Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
That was such a great job by the offensive player. knowing that you're probably going to take some lumps here and there, but still remaining aggressive throughout the shot and getting a crack at the extra point.
Justin Holiday trying to cash in on the three-point play. A career 81% free throw shooter. Free throw up and good. It's a three-point play, but a rare spot as they continue to trail big. Capella down low. Clint Capella, 3 for 3 in this first half.
And when people talk about vision, people usually talk about the vision to make the pass. But how about seeing the chaos in the traffic before the pass even occurs? That's next level vision. How can I catch people out of position defensively? That's what we saw in that last possession.
Memphis with the rock. Layup's good. Those are the types of shots you always strive for. Harden to P.J. Tucker. For 3, they have to keep him in their grasp.
I know there are refs on the court all the time, but it doesn't mean they can see every play. Maybe defensively, grab his jersey, step on his toe, do something to kind of change up his pace.
Kyle Anderson matched up with P.J. Tucker. Cashes in for 2.
Ooh, cool, calm, and collective. The 3 C's. His handles are effortless.
Harden. Oh, that's how it's done.
Everything looks great when you shoot the ball like this. And yes, Ed, this team does have some issues, but they are all masked and camouflaged with this shooting display we're watching.
And the basket good at the rim.
Might have had an extra dribble or 2 there, but he got the shot he wanted.
James Harden at the controls. Going to launch beyond the arc. Offensive board. Clint Capella. Oh, the defense has to adjust. He's 4 for 4 to start this one.
He's been doing this for years. The physicality in which he plays. No one wants to see that. You're going to leave the game with black and blue marks all over your body.
Off the assist. We get a whistle and a timeout for Houston as they'll take a moment to go over things here in the second quarter.
Fans, have you noticed the red donation boxes located around the concourse? We're accepting non-perishable food items for the homeless in our community.
We have both squads set to make some moves right now.
This community event. Substitutions.
Paul had made his first couple, but he misses there.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
Conley guarded by CP3. To Valanciunas. Count the basket. A lot of contact. No foul.
Valanciunas giving you that size, giving you that length, a guy that can extend the defense. But you kind of forget that he was the 5th pick taken overall in 2011.
Grizzlies own the basketball.
That's a mismatch. That's a mismatch.
And the Rockets have the rebound. Straight on 3. At the buzzer. Good. A 3 at the buzzer. Everything going right so far as they've extended the lead. A very one-sided first half of basketball as we are at halftime. Let's get you to Orlando where we say hello to Jalen Rose in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Jalen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jalen Rose, and this is your EA Sports Halftime Report. The Rockets dominate. The Grizzlies have yet. The Rockets have built a comfortable lead. It was their playmaking, the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impresses me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. These are the guys getting buckets for the Houston Rockets. The Grizzlies have got themselves in a bad situation that seems likely to only get worse. The way they struggle doesn't bode well for them at all. But if they got some fight in them, we'll know right away in the third quarter. These are the guys getting buckets for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Game track. Defense.
The Houston Rockets are using defense to create offense, and it's coming off blocks and steals. They're putting in work on both ends of the court.
Player of the half.
James Harden most definitely deserves to be player of the half for the way he distributed the ball. It was an excellent display of court vision and solid passing.
Who was cold?
Forget cold. This guy will be happy to be lukewarm at this point. He can't seem to get anything going. Here are the top plays.
Number 2. Number 1.
The Rockets absolutely dominated the competition in the first half. It was their playmaking, the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impresses me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Houston Rockets. The Grizzlies did a lot of things wrong in that opening half. There isn't enough time to get into all of their problems, but I'll tell you this, they need to try to get better. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Game track. Defense.
The Houston Rockets are exhibiting some great defense. They're refusing to let shooters get comfortable and showing great anticipation in the passing lanes.
Player of the half.
James Harden really showed up. All right, back to the second half. I'll see you after the game.
Conley into the front court. His guys down big. P.J. Tucker with a piece.
That's why a rim protector is a necessity in this game.
Paul. He has certainly been on target from downtown. He's 4 of 5 from three-point range.
Let me tell you why. He's been receiving his passes on time and on target. Give the passer some credit in this scenario as well.
Harden. Add another one to his total. That's now 7 threes for the ball game.
And the ball is finding him wherever he goes on the court. Man, that boy, he the best.
Whistle and a timeout for Memphis as their coach wants to get a word in with his guys here in this third quarter. The foul, and a chance at 3 coming up.
People become so fixated on the hands or the arms or the strengths of the arms. I look at the legs. The strength of his legs help him power through that play. That's how you get and ones.
Off the mark on his free throw. To Harden. 4-3. He's not shy about shooting it from out there, but he misses this time. Across the timeline, it's Conley. Down a bundle. Rockets have the steal.
Ooh, I think people are leaving already.
Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
Ed, you ever bail out of something at the last second? That's what I saw right there from the defender. We call that no man's land. They weren't really committed to getting out of the way, committing a hard foul, or taking the brunt of the contact.
Free throw's good as they continue to widen their lead. Memphis, they've got it. Clint Capella sends it away.
Just incredible timing on that swat.
Harden fires the three. That's off the side of the rim, short.
Shooters shoot, period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with that superior confidence.
Great look and vision. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
Probably option 3 right there in the court, but every player is a threat. No excuse for that easy bucket.
Clint Capella. The defense is really going to have to start paying attention. He's 5 for 5 for the field.
This is why I go back into player mode. If the dude starts to try to have 40 points on me, I'm going to foul out. I'm going to start hitting him in places he's not used to being hit. I'm trying to do anything to throw him off his game.
Wide open look won't go.
If I'm the player that just missed that shot, just because you're open doesn't mean you need to shoot. You can put the ball down on the ground and drive to the rim.
And scores.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
It's Grizzlies ball. Conley against Chris Paul. Here comes the screen. Conley to Kyle Anderson. And counted at the rim.
There you go. I like seeing his scoring coming from unlikely sources.
Gets to the basket and scores.
You know, teams usually shoot higher percentages early in the shot clock. Plus, you take away the legs of the defense. You have to dictate the pace.
Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down. Jay, let's see if that's a sign for him.
Well, he's been pretty much non-existent the first 3 quarters, but when you have a play like that, that can get the juices going, and that can help you with your offensive rhythm.
Conley into the front court. He'll run the offense. To Jaren Jackson. Knocked loose. Rockets come up with it. Tucker. To Harden. He connects off the step back.
We're watching a clinic right now. We're watching basketball one-on-one. Whoever this professor is, he needs to get paid top dollar.
Count the basket, and it could have been more. No whistle.
And when a player's running at you full speed and he takes those steps, there's no way you can defend it.
Layup's good. That's as high percentage as it gets.
In the paint, you need to finish just like that.
Harden. That right there, Jay, his 8th 3 of the game. He is putting on a show.
He's defying physics with that jumper. He's not even holding his foul through.
Grizzlies at the controls right now. Count the basket inside.
Strong finish. That's what you need, regardless of contact, focusing on the rim.
And count the basket.
Man, that may not have been a gimme, but that layup at the rim definitely chips away at the pride of the defense.
The drive, right to the basket. Clint Capella pins it.
Ed, that's light work for a guy with his ability.
Paul. Not going down here.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
Conley into the front court. Looking to make something happen. To Kyle Anderson. Driving right to the basket. Eric Gordon tips it.
Don't stare him down like that afterwards.
He connects, had all the time in the world. Too easy.
Look, as a player, this stuff happens all the time. No need to make this into something bigger than what it really is. Move on to the next play, get locked in.
Clint Capella swats. He engulfed him that time. Knocks it down off the step back.
You know, Ed, people don't understand. Tough shots are practiced every single day. With all these different contraptions out there to contest your shot, guys shoot 500 made shots a day. This is the new norm.
Paul to Capella. And watch him do the rest. Slam dunk.
I know there's that old saying that says one man can't beat five, but we're watching one man. And carry 4 other players. His back has to be hurting. Another big-time finish.
Conley to Valanciunas. Deep left corner. Kyle Anderson here against Harden. To Valanciunas. Nice pass to set things up.
You know, Ed, I'm down with guys having 35, 40, maybe 50 points in the game. But the one thing you look for in a defensive end, when there's a huddle after a guy has dropped multiple buckets on you in a row and everybody's quiet, nobody stands up and says, yo, I got him, I'm going to stop him, you're in a worrisome place for your team.
Memphis with the rock to Jaren Jackson. Valanciunas to Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson with the dunk. Here on their home floor, they're chipping away.
I mean, does this crowd have a pulse? Are they even alive? Sometimes when you make a play like that, your crowd needs to get you back in this ball game.
To Paul. Fires the three. Well, the hot shooting night continues. That's his 6th three-pointer of this game.
And you got to give him a lot of love. He's been knocking down shot after shot. But what is the defense thinking? Do you want to play in this game? It's probably time you start buckling down.
Nice finish at the rim.
I remember my high school coach said one man can't beat 5. Well, I'm telling you right now, he lied. I'm watching it happen in person.
Conley against Chris Paul. Lets it fly from long range. Tucker, dead-on three-point shooter. Tough to guard.
This is a game of ways. As a defense, you have to recognize that they come and they go. That will not be the case all the time moving forward.
To Kyle Anderson. Knocked loose. Rockets have it. Harden. The hot night continues. He's hit 9 threes here tonight.
Uh-oh, someone's getting towards that single-game record territory. He's having that kind of night.
Now the Grizzlies will use a timeout as their coaching staff wants to talk things over here in this 3rd quarter. Mixing things up. Hockey line substitutions. Both teams making changes. Knocked loose. Nene sends it away.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
Straight down the middle of the lane. Way to punch it home.
It's easy to become mesmerized when you watch a player who can create off the dribble. We call that dancing. When you allow a player to dance with that much space, that's Prob City.
Grizzlies own the basketball. To Conley. Tight space with the crossover. Knocked loose. Rivers to bring it into the front court. Shot clock turned off as they try to extend the lead. Layup goes down. Well done.
Well, the shooting has been spectacular, but one of the things that I've seen as the difference maker in this ball game is how they are catching the basketball. They're not establishing a pivot foot, which leaves the defense wondering which way you can drive. But when that shot is working like that, you got it any way you want it.
Deep three at the buzzer. 3 quarters down. The 4th quarter coming up. The Rockets way out. It'll be Rockets basketball here as we start the 4th quarter. You figured they certainly had the advantage coming into this one. Jay, that's how it's played out.
On paper, this wasn't set up to be much of a contest. If the crowd could have gotten into it early, maybe. But sometimes a team is so good that you never had a chance to even start.